Okay girls, now let's start with this video. Okay, just 1 minute, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's see this video together to introduce the idea of the lesson.
So let's go to number 1 here. And number 1, we don't have any decimals. We have 9 times 10. We're just going to review whole numbers real quick and kind of apply what we do with whole numbers to decimals. So 9 times 10. We know 9 times 10 is 90. And like we talked about when we multiplied whole numbers by powers of 10, we used zeros to push that 9 one place to the left to make its value 90. Because we started with a 9, right? And we multiplied by 10, so we moved the 9 one place to the left from the ones place to the tens place using a 0 to change the value of that 9. So with decimals, let's take a look at number 2 here. We have a 3 and 2 tenths. So we look at our 10 here and we have 1 0. So that means with whole numbers, we could have put 1 0 on the end to push everything to the correct place. Well, let's see what happens when we do that with a decimal. Let's put 1 0 at the end. We get 3.20 or 3 and 20 hundredths, which is equivalent to 3 and 2 tenths. So we didn't change the value at all. If you multiply something by 10, you don't get the same thing. So putting zeros at the end does not work for decimals. So we need to come up with another way to push everything to the left one spot when we multiply by 10. So what we do is we move the decimal. We move the decimal to the right one time, and that will push the 3 to the tens place and the 2 to the ones place. So our answer is 32. So the key to multiplying decimals by powers of 10 is moving the decimal. And you either look at the number of zeros in your power of 10, if it's in standard form, written like a regular number, or if it's in exponential form like number 3, you look at the exponent. So we have 5 tenths times 10 to the second power, which means 10 times 10 or 100. So I'm going to rewrite my 5 tenths down here and move the decimal 2 times because I have an exponent of 2. 1, 2. Fill this with the 0, and my answer is 50, right? You may be thinking, well, you have a 0, 5, 0. Well, this 0 in front of the 50 doesn't mean anything. So our product is 50. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, you move the decimal twice to the right. Well, can I move it twice to the left? If you move it twice to the left, let's try number 3. Twice to the left, we are decreasing our number in value. We would get 5 thousandths, okay? We're multiplying something by 10 to the second power, or 100. So we want to increase the value, so we move the decimal twice to the right.
Okay girls, so just to remember the idea that how to multiply decimals with powers of 10. You remember we talked about this idea when we started with decimals, right? So let's return now to our lesson, okay? So today we will multiply, or multiplication pattern. We will multiply decimals with a pattern, okay? So how can the pattern help you to place the decimal point in a product? So let's start with the first example, okay? Look at this example, girls. So if I want to find the answer for this pattern, girls, The decimal point is 0.75 hundredths. The pattern means I have a sequence of numbers, okay? Pattern of numbers 1, 10, 100, 1000. This is the pattern. And I want to find the answer for the multiplication between this pattern and the decimal number, which is here 0.75 hundredths. So let's start. 1 multiply any number equals the same number. That's mean 1 multiply 0.75 equals 0.75 hundredths. Okay? Now, what about if I want to multiply 10 with 0.75? Okay, you remember I told you if you multiply a decimal number with tens number, you have to move the decimal point into the left side number of digits equals number of 0. What that's mean? That's mean, look at 0.75. I want to multiply it with 10. How many zeros right here? How many? I have only 1 0. So I have to move the decimal point just 1 digit into the left side. It will be right here. So the number will be 7.5. Yes. Okay? 7.5. Now, the next one. 100 multiply 7.75 hundredths. Now, I want to move the decimal point into the right side number of digits equals number of zeros. That's mean I have here 2 zeros, so I have to move the decimal point 2 digits into the right side. So I have to move the decimal point 2 digits, so it will be right here. Right? So the number will be 75 and the decimal point will be right here, but there is no number after the decimal point. The digit after the decimal point will be zeros. So no need to mention the decimal part, and the number will be a whole part. What about if I want to multiply 1000 with 0.75? Also, I have to move the decimal point number of digits equals number of zeros in the 1000 here. I have 3 zeros. So I have to move the decimal point 3 digits. Okay? But there is no here digit. There is no digit. I have only 7 and 5 and the decimal point right here. Right? And there is no third digit. What I have to do? I have to convert, or here I have to write a digit and fill this digit as the video said. You have to fill this digit with 0, right? And the decimal point will move 3 digits right here, so it will be right here. And the number will be what? The number will be 750. Okay, and the decimal point right here doesn't make any difference. Okay, girls, until now? Now, look, girls. I want you to focus with me on this example, the next one. We mentioned this example when we started in the chapter 3 with the thousands, you remember, with the thousands lesson. So, look at this number, 1,353. This is not a decimal number. This is a whole number or thousand number. Okay? Now, first thing, I want to write the pattern or this multiplication pattern. First thing, 1 multiply any number equals the same number. That's mean 1 multiply 1,353 equals 353. Okay? Now, what about this multiplication? Look, here I want to multiply 0.1. 0.1. Okay. You remember when we take 1 over 10 the number, okay, 1 over 10 equals what in the decimal number? Equals what? You remember how to write the decimal fraction as a unit as a decimal number. The decimal fraction as a decimal number. 1 over 10, that means this is 0.1, right? 1 over 10 equals 0.1, because you have to write the numerator and move the decimal point according to the number of zeros in the denominator. So 1 over 10 equals 0.1. So if I want to multiply this number, if I want to multiply 1353 with 0.1, that means you have to multiply this number with 1 over 10. And that means you have to divide this fraction on 10. Okay? And you remember I said that when we divide a number on a powers of 10, you have to move the decimal point into the left side. Number of digits equals number of zeros in the denominator. So here 0.1, when we multiply the decimal number or the number with the decimal number, how many digits also after the point? I have only 1 digit. So that means you have to move the decimal point on this number 1 digit. So let's move it. This is 1, 3, 5, and 3. Okay? The decimal point will be right here all the time. And I want to move the decimal point into the right side just 1 digit. So it will be from here to here. Okay? So the number will be what? The number will be 135.3 tenths, sorry, 0.3 tenths. Okay? Now, look at 0.01 multiply 1353. You know that 1 over 100, this is the decimal of 0.01. So this is the equivalent number or equivalent fraction for 0.01. That means if I want to multiply this number with this decimal fraction, you have to move the decimal point number of digits equals number of zeros into the left side. Okay? So you have to move the decimal point 2 digits, because I have here 2 digits after the point in the powers of 10. So the number will be what? 1, 3, 5, and 3. So I want to move the decimal point will be right here all the time. You have to move the decimal point 2 digits here. So I have to move it to the left side 2 digit. So the decimal point will be right here. And the number will be 13.53 hundredths. Okay? This is how I will find the multiplication pattern with decimals. Okay? The decimals multiplication pattern. If you finish, please type 1 in the chat. Okay, very good, girls. So let's move to, okay, okay, Lana, ask me. Lana? Okay, I can't understand your voice. Okay, can you repeat again? What did you say? You are joining from two accounts, right? You have two accounts name. Yes, that's why. This is your account. This is your account now, and I will leave the next one, right? That's why you ask me. You want me to remove the next one? Remove the next one. Okay. Okay, you will do it, okay? Because I don't want to remove you. Okay, thank you, Lana. So, okay, so let's move to the next example on page 234. So let's read this example or this problem. Just 1 minute, girls. Okay. Now, 3 friends are selling items at an arts and crafts fair. Josie, you know arts and crafts? Something you do it in art class. Okay? So Juicy makes 45.75 selling jewelry. Mark makes 100 times as much as Juicy makes by selling his custom furniture. So you remember this 10 times, okay? You remember this 10 times, as much as. So Carlos makes a tenth of money Marx makes by selling paintings. How much money does each friend make? So we have to compare between the money for Juicy and those amounts, 100 times and tenth of. Okay, you have to focus on those. Okay, so focus on the first one. So Juicy makes this amount of money, okay, and Mark makes 100 times. You remember this 100 times as much as. I told you that's mean you have to multiply this amount of money with 100, right? So let's find the amount of money that Mark makes. So you have to multiply 45.75 with 100 because Mark makes 100 times as much as. So if I want to multiply according to the pattern, actually you can find the answer directly without doing this pattern, but let's follow the pattern as written in your book. So when we multiply 1 with any number, it will be the same number. That's mean we'll multiply 45.75, it will be 45.75. Okay, now when we multiply 10 with any number or with decimal number, you have to move the decimal point into the right side, number of digits equals number of zeros. That means I have to move the decimal point one digit from here to here. So the number will be what? 5, 7, and 0.5. That's mean 457.5 tenths. Now when we multiply this number as we want here with 100, you have to move the decimal point 2 digits into the right side from here to here. Okay, so the decimal point will be right here. So the number will be what? Girls, stop typing on the chat. Dana, please stop typing on the chat. So the number will be 4,575. This is the amount of money that Mark or does Mark make. So Mark makes $4,575 because he makes 100 times as much as Juicy. Now, what about the what is the name is Carlos? What about Carlos? Carlos makes a tenth. What that mean? Tenth. That mean you have to multiply the number or the amount of money with tenth. That mean 0.1. This is the tenth. Tenth. When I said only tenth without any number, that's mean I have 0.1. When I said hundredth without any number, that's mean 0.01. Okay? So when I said he makes tenth of, that's mean I have to multiply this amount of money with the 0.1. So when we multiply it with 0.1 according to the pattern, you have to follow the pattern. So of course 0.1 from from Mark, sorry, from Mark. This is the amount of money that Mark makes. So I have to multiply 0.1 with 4,575. So according to the pattern, 1 multiply any number equals the same number. Now to find the amount, I have to multiply the tenth with this number. When we multiply a decimal number or decimal pattern with a number, with any number, you have to move the decimal point into the left side. Number of digits equals number of digits here after the point. I have only one digit after the point. So I have to move the decimal point. Where's the decimal point? Right here. Because this is a whole number. So the decimal point will be right here. I have to move it one digit only. Let's move it one digit. So it will be right here. So the number will be 4, like this. Just 1 minute, girls. 4, 5, 7.510. This is the number, $457.5. This is the money that does Carlos make. Okay? So the idea right here is how to multiply the pattern or the powers of 10 here with a decimal number. How to move the decimal point. You have to know it. Now, if you finish, please type 1 in the chat to move to the next one. Okay. You have to be quickly, Mace. Please write quickly and finish the numbers. Okay, so let's move to exercise number A and B. Okay, I will erase only this side. I will leave this side for you. So now let's see the first one. You remember the powers of 10. Okay, girls, stop typing on the chat between each other. Please focus on the lesson. This lesson very important. Girls, those lessons are very important for you for this year and next year. So you have to understand it very well. Please focus with me. Okay? So complete the pattern. Look, the numbers written as a powers of 10. Okay, as a powers of 10. So we have a mix between decimals and powers of 10 now. So let's start with the first number. Please focus with me. Now, so 10 power 0 multiply 4.78 hundredths. Okay, you remember I told you 10 power 0 equals what? 10 power 0 equals 1. Thank you, Emma. Excellent. Equals 1. So, and thank you, Larissa. So, any number with power 0 equals 1. This is a law in the math. This is a law. Static law. Not the subtle law, sorry. Okay? So, any number with power of 0 equals 1. That means this 10 power 0 equals 1. That means 1 multiply 4.78 equals what? Equals the same number, 4.78. Okay? What about 10 power 1? 10 power 1, you remember that 10 power 1 equals 10, right? In powers of 10, I have to write number of zeros equals the power. I have only 1 in the power, that means I have only 1 0. So that means I have 10 multiply 4.78. 4.78 equals what? I have to multiply decimal number with 10. That means I have to move the decimal point into the right side 1 digit. So it will be from here to here. So the number will be 47.8. Okay? What about 10 power 2? I will change the color. Maybe the color is not good. 10 power 2. You know that 10 power 2 or the second power of 10 equals what? Equals 100. That means I have 2 zeros because I have 2 in the power. That means 100 multiply 4.78. I have to move the decimal point here 2 digits into the right side from here to here. So the number will be what? 478. What about the last one? 10 power 3. 10 power 3 means I have 1000. I have 3 zeros according to the power. Multiply with 4.78. So I have to move the decimal point 3 digits. I have only 2, so I have to put here 0 and move the decimal point into this number. So the number will be 4,780. Thank you, girls. What about the next one? Number B. Okay, now look, I will find this pattern, but this pattern is a decimal pattern, not powers pattern, not power of 10. This is a decimal. So that means I have to move the decimal point into the left side. 38 multiply 1 equals 38. Very easy. Any number multiply 1 equals the same number. Now 38 multiply 0.1. When I want to multiply a tenth with 38, I have to move the decimal point only one digit. That's mean the decimal point right here, I have to move it one digit. It will be right here. So the number will be 3.8. What about 38 multiply 0.01? Okay? So I have two digits after the point. That's mean I have to move the decimal point into the left side two digits from here to here. So the decimal point will be right here. So the number will be 0.38, because when I put the decimal point right here, I have to write the value of the ones before it, and there is no number here. That's mean the value equals 0. Okay, girls? Okay? Any question? Any question, girls? You understand it? Okay. Okay, Lana, I will open your mic to ask me. Okay, Lana?
Teacher?
Yes. Yes.
Carlos, that's example 2.
Number 2, this one? This one?
No. Not in A.
Which one?
Exam.
The first example?
First one. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
What about?
Here in Carlos, why
Carlos?
we put 0.1?
0.1, because he said that a tenth of, and I told you tenth of means I have a tenth. That's mean the tenth 0.1. If I didn't mention here a number and I said only tenth without any number, this means 0.1. If I said hundredth without any number, that's mean 0.01 in the hundredth. If I said thousands without any number, that's mean 0.001. If I didn't mention a number, just tenth, that's mean you have 0.1. Okay? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Any question? Any another question, Lana? No? Yes. Now, who said you have a question? Okay, girls, could you please type your questions, because we have only 1 minute in the class. I can't open the mic for all of you. Type your question, Ragad, please, on the chat, and Sheikha, please, and Fatima. Type your question on the chat. Okay? Type your question quickly, because we have 1 minute to answer your questions, all of you. Which example? Example 1, this one, Ragad. This one? This one? You want me to repeat it? Okay. So when we want to multiply powers of 10 with a decimal number, this is a subtle law. You have to save it, that you have to move the decimal point number of digits equals number of zeros into the left, or into the right side. I will set as an example, when I multiply 100 with 0.75, I have to move the decimal point 2 digits. That's mean from here to here. So the number will be 75. Now, when I want to multiply the number with decimal pattern, this is a decimal pattern, okay? So I have to move the decimal point into the left side. Number of digits equals number of digits after the point. As an example, here you have only 1 digit after the decimal point only one digit. That's mean you have to move the decimal point one digit. This is the decimal point in the whole. It will be right here. So you have to move it into here. Okay? So girls, I'm sorry, we have to stop here because I think you have a break now, or a session. I'm sorry, you have a session now. So we have